Okay, we're going to talk about auditing inventory and investments. When it comes to inventory, you go out and you purchase inventory. You purchase goods. They are received. They get sent to you. You take the goods and you store them. And then once you sell the inventory, you ship them out. These steps in the process, purchasing, receiving, storage, and shipping, all need good controls. Observation. Observation of the physical inventory count is required. That will give you a evidence of existence and completeness. Calculation. You should test the physical inventory report, tracing test counts. So you trace for completeness, making sure all the inventory in the warehouse is showing up on the inventory report. And you should also verify mathematical accuracy. Consigned goods. You should ascertain consigned inventory given to the client from the outside. You're holding consigned inventory. That should be excluded from the physical count of inventory. However, goods out on consignment. So if you, the client, send out goods to a consignor, you should include that inventory, that count in your inventory. Until it's sold, it should be included. Related accounts. When you're auditing inventory, you should simultaneously audit purchases, sales, returns, and allowances. Quantity. Cutoff procedures should be performed for purchases and sales. Presentation. According to GAAP, you have to report inventory at the lower of cost or market. Analytical review. Overall reasonableness of the amounts and disclosure should be evaluated. Ratio analysis may be used. Inventory turnover, for instance. Obsolete or damaged goods. The inventory listing should be reviewed for slow-moving items. Inquiries should be made regarding obsolete or damaged goods. So you should do a physical inspection. See if some of the inventory has collected a lot of dust. It's an example of items that haven't moved, that haven't been sold, and they should be marked down according to their obsolescence or damage. Auditing investments. The auditor must ensure that GAAP is consistently applied, gains and losses are accurately computed, disclosed, investment income is properly reported, valuation is fairly stated and disclosed, and the investments in fact exist and are owned by the entity under audit. So first of all, segregation of duties, authorization, usually the board of directors, should be separate from custodial function and should be separate from record keeping. So investments, very important to keep that in mind. Confirmation from third parties. You should get confirmations, ideally from an independent third-party custodian. If you don't have that, you could do a physical inspection for the securities held by the client on hand. A physical inspection should be performed to confirm the existence. Cutoff procedures. These procedures should be applied to purchases, sales, and investment income. Conformance with GAAP. Derivative, cost equity method, trading, available for sale, held to maturity classifications are the guidelines are spelled out by GAAP, and these classifications should be used. Computations. Gains, losses, discounts, premium amortization, interest, dividend income should be independently calculated. Management representations. The auditor should inquire of management and obtain written representation concerning management's intent and ability to hold or to exercise significant influence over the investment. Reasonableness and appropriateness. These factors should be evaluated as they relate to assumptions, market variables, valuation models, and any decline in fair value. You want to know if these are valued properly. Special skill or knowledge. Related to the last point, the auditor may need special skill or knowledge to plan and perform auditing procedures for certain assertions about derivatives. It may be too complex, it may be too technical, and you might need to seek outside special skill or outside knowledge. Let's take a look at this task-based simulation. It's asking to review audit tests and to see if the accounts in parentheses as a result are either overstated, understated, or fairly stated. So the first question, one of Silva's suppliers shipped goods to Silva on December 26, year one, FOB destination. So we got to see when it arrived. with a scheduled arrival date of December 30th. The goods did not arrive at Silva's receiving dock until January 2nd, year 2. The goods were included in Silva's ending inventory. So if they included it, they're showing too much inventory. It's overstated because if it didn't arrive until January 2nd, you got to exclude it. And the inventory is overstated. Number 2, on December 31st, a major customer requested a rush order of the goods. Silva shipped it out just before the close of business on the 31st of December. FOB shipping point was used. So if we got to know if it was sent out, it's gone. It's not included. Silva did not include the goods in the year end. Very good. That's fairly stated. Inventory is fairly stated because of shipping point. One of Silva's customers is holding goods on consignment for Silva. The goods were delivered to the customer on December 31st. They're holding the inventory. Silva has included the retail value of these goods in its sales for year 1. So they want to know, is sales overstated? Is sales properly stated? You can't consider goods held on consignment, goods sent out for consignment, you can't consider them sold if they haven't been sold. Just because they were delivered to the customer who's holding it on consignment doesn't mean it was sold. So if you consider that sold, you're overstating sales. Number 4, December 31st, year 1 falls out on a Wednesday. Silva pays its employees on Fridays. That's when they cut the checks. The payroll expense for the year includes all checks written through December 31st. So all the checks were written the Friday before December 31st. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that next week, they didn't have checks written yet. Checks are written only on Friday. So if the payroll expense for the year only includes checks written through December 31st, written through, meaning the checks cut through December 31st, they didn't have any checks for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that last final week. So their expense account is understated. They have to accrue, even though no cash left their account, they have to accrue an expense for those last 3 days of the year. On December 31st, Silva sold goods to a related party. Okay. The goods were sold above Silva's cost, but below the normal retail value. Nothing wrong with that. Sales, they sold it. They can sell it for as much as they want. Fairly stated.